Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cafe Enchante. And we were just in the middle of our tea party celebrating the opening of the cafe, still in chapter 3. I don't know how much more time we have. It could be a full hour, it could just be 5 minutes, who knows. We have no more choices in chapter 3, so we'll see. A little time had passed after the recent incident. In an effort to cool me down after all the excitement, I drank some iced coffee. So, considering today marked the new beginning of Enchante, glad I was finally able to say goodbye to that place. Yeah, you're right. Your last job was even scarier than any sort of alternate world we have on record. Yeah, compared to my last boss, alternate worlds and non-humans, none of that stuff holds a candle to how scary that was. I feel you might be a bit quick to make that judgment before seeing anything yet. And that may be because she has no knowledge. Without knowing what they really are, you wouldn't know how to be afraid of anything. So I said that because I don't know, Sure, that may be true. Well, why don't we go and see? Huh? Typical. There he goes again. I can just feel trouble brewing. I don't know, you said your world sounded hostile just to exist in. Considering Rindo's information, the world that's the safest and most suited for visiting out of all of our homes would be... Following the smiling miser, the one Ignis and Il turned their eyes toward was... Canis? Hell yeah, I want to go to his world! My home. The fairy world Medeo, I assume. The instant that world's name came up, Mr. Rindo leaned forward, flustered. He's like, can I go? Wait, what? How about we go? You... don't mean to. Another world, of course. It's the perfect spot. A 0-minute commute just steps away. It'd be a waste not to go, right? And besides, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, don't they? Let's find out. Come on, let's go visit another world. What? What? To my grandpa in heaven. Your grandchild has just officially taken over Enchante, and now she's about to literally step foot into an unknown world. Hold on, I gotta write my grandpa letter. But we're in the main route, but we're still but he's on the... Well, maybe they're in the main route, they have different backgrounds, because she had one, and I don't remember what 2 or 3 was, but then have people's... Oh, but it's not his route, but... The pale hand of death, Palais d'Amours, knocks on the door, all equals when it calls. Be it the impoverished living in a shed, or the king living in a palace. Yes, with not a single discrimination. What the fuck is happening here? Oh, I don't know who this is. Canis Espada. You shall henceforth be committed to the duty of your ancestors. It is a burdensome role, perhaps heavier than mine, even as the queen. Okay, so. You will not receive praise, nor will anyone thank you. You may even be avoided. It was this way for your ancestors. Even so, do you choose to walk the same path as your ancestors who came before you? If this is what it takes to protect it, the fairy world Medeo, I was born to handle such a task. Until I rot away and vanish into the ether, I swear that I will fulfill this duty. You... No. Canis, your loyalty deserves my gratitude. Please, you must fulfill your duty. Understood. She did not need to explain this to me. She did not need to confirm my acceptance. The only reason I was born was to accomplish this one thing. I wonder if we go into different worlds, depending on whose route we're kind of heading into. But I feel like everything is very, very general, except for choosing to talk to him when making the snacks in the last chapter. You know what I mean? Yet, the queen spoke with me out of that kindness of her heart. At the same time, it is cruel. But I don't think we can go to... Yes, I understood it more than anyone. The Fairy of Death. This name was the embodiment of the inescapable duty bestowed upon me. Wow, I can't read. I was just thinking, like, we can't go to the heavenly world, right? So, like, Interesting. The moment I stepped into the gate, I immediately felt like I was floating, constantly rising, constantly falling. As if I was inside a pool of water, my body was enveloped and felt a pressure. Oh my god, this is so exciting. Suddenly, this is what we saw in our dream! A rush of wind, made rough with sand, blew in from my side. Oh, Miser's gonna reap out and kill us. Bzah. Huh? An eerie sound was whispering to me, along with the dry wind grazing my ear. As if seized by the sound, I felt a strange weight on my arms. My body began tilting, and I felt like I was being pulled downward. I didn't know what it was. I felt an extreme chill and threw off the weight in desperation. And then, my body became light. Felt like I was being thrown up into space and... Woo, it's pretty here. Hit by the sudden force of gravity, I slammed into something very hard. Like, okay, I'm just saying, you got this tiny, itty-bitty little tree that's probably like a big tree next to this holy motherfucking god of a tree. It's like a fucking skyscraper. Ow! My vision was shaky after the impact. I was able to pick myself up somehow. There, the scene I saw was... It's like Fern Gully! The last rainforest. Wow! Amazing! Verdant greens and flowers beyond sight. Tall, giant fucking trees. Giant trees that touch the heavens. Like, that's why everyone thinks fairies are little. It's just because all of our shit is huge. It's not. We're normal sized. Like, roads that stretched endlessly and were colored with lights shining through the trees. What is this? It looks like a whale. Looking at my surroundings more carefully, I saw all sorts of mysterious things that I'd never seen before. They were all part of some strange place I never would see back home. It was as if, yeah, I'm in another world. Wait, that's right. I came back to my senses. My memory of what had just happened before being thrown out here had gotten hazy. At tea party the other day. It all started during a certain part of the conversation we were having. Why am I here alone? I thought we were all going. Another world, of course. It's the perfect spot. A 0-minute commute just steps away. It'd be a waste not to go, right? And besides, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, don't they? Let's find out. Come on, let's go visit another world. And that was that. A suggestion from Miser, who made the whole ordeal sound like a day trip. Indeed, the climate of Fairy World Medio is serene, with almost no dangerous creatures there. If we consider the inhabitants there, it is the least dangerous place to visit. Besides, Canis, caught a little off guard from suddenly having to speak. Alright, it's settled. Oh man, I'm so excited to go. I gotta pack some bananas. Why the hell do you need bananas? And when are we leaving exactly? How about tomorrow morning? Leaving right now wouldn't give us much time to spend there. That's true. Now that I think about it, we've known each other for so long, but have never visited each other's worlds, have we? Yep, I'm sure Spacey will enjoy it too. It's a ground-breaking event for Enchante, don't you think? Huh? You really think so? Hey, hang on. You, the giddy little demon lord over there. I was just starting to get caught in the rush of everyone talking about this trip when Mr. Rindo pumped the brakes. Please don't go parading her into a whole other world like it's no big deal. She's the one who said she wanted to learn more about us. What's wrong with that? Well, you don't have to just leave right away. I just said that humans are fragile. What might be normal for any of you could be fatal to her. It happens all the time. I want to be sure she'll be safe from danger. Soan never took the leap and went with you to any of your worlds, right? You forget someone was a homebody. I do remember him saying something like, a trip to another world sounds like a pain. I didn't really expect that. The grandpa I always imagined would have dived headfirst into another world. As the excitement in the room grew, Canis clapped his hands. Everyone, I'm glad you are all excited, but the woman of the hour seems to be pensive. Whether she goes or not, Spacey herself is to decide that. Canis's comment causes everyone to look towards me. Huh, you're right. Sorry, Spacey. I was so convinced you'd be happy to go, I'd forgotten to even check with you. What? Oh, no, I was honestly interested after hearing everyone talking about it. I reply in a fluster. Maybe talking of his homeworld was the reason for it, but Canis seemed to become quite pensive for a moment before speaking. I believe that Miser and Rindo both make sound points. This may be an unparalleled chance to observe and broaden the understanding of non-humans. But there are many dangers, as Rindo says. Even in the fairy world Medio, a relatively safe place, it can be tough for a human. Spacey, that being the case, do you still desire to travel to another world? I deliberated for a moment. As Mr. Rindo said, I could still learn about other worlds within Enchante, and the fact that Grandpa never stepped foot into another world might have been more of a reason for me not to go. However, I want to go. It's not like I don't get anxious thinking about going somewhere so unknown, but still, I have to see it for myself. Canis's world and everyone else's too. I want to know more about them. These feelings push me one step forward. I see. Then I will swear this to you now, the owner of Enchante. No harm will come to you. I mean, he is a knight. And after that, Mr. Rindo was against the idea until the very end, thinking of my safety. His refusal was overturned by the group. He eventually agreed with the proposition, but only if he was able to join as well. I seriously do wonder if in everybody else's main chapter 4, maybe you go to their world instead. It's like, oh, let's go to a world. Let's go to this. If it slightly changes depending on whose route you're kind of heading toward instead of always going. I mean, who knows? Maybe you go to everybody else's world. You know what I mean? Like, in each other chapter. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But it'd be kind of interesting, except for when you're going down fucking Rindo's route, and then you're like, I want to go to the GPM. That doesn't sound like a fun field trip. Yeah, cool, I want to go to a fairy world. Ooh, I want to go to heaven. I want to go to the demon world. I want to go to a fucking office building. Poor Calvin. Oh, you poor man. I want to hear about this world. I want to hear about your corporate office. Oh, ooh. Big deal. Poor man. Yeah. But now I'm lost here by myself. The morning after, with our representative Canis leading us, we all went through the gate. But now I'm stuck here, lost without anybody. Where is everybody? So, this is really Canis's homeworld, the fairy world Medio. Maybe it's Medio. I don't know. Medio sounds fancier than Medio, but look how pretty this shit is! Damn, I want to live here. Fairy world Medio. After having to narrow my eyes from the light so bright that poured from the trees, I didn't know we got to do this. This is cool. Wow, I'm really in another world. I finally internalized my current situation. I wanted to see everyone's excitement, so I turn around and... Huh? There was no one there. This is the worst. This is why you hold hands. Do you have an otherworld buddy? Make sure you hold on to your otherworld buddy. They did not do this properly. They have not watched Toy Story enough, okay? Do you have a moving buddy? Or I'm sorry, even Finding Nemo. Do you have your exit buddy? You don't fucking jump out of the East Australian current without your current buddy. Like, come on. Your exit buddy, you don't go on a moving trip without your packing buddy. Like, come on, you always have a buddy. Why did we not have a buddy? Oh god, we're gonna die. I looked around. I know we're not gonna die. Well, maybe in a bad ending, but I looked around figuring they would be easy to spot, but I couldn't see anyone around me at all. They were nowhere to be found. Not only that, I didn't even see the gate that we had just passed through. Huh? Canis? Miser? Ill? Ignis? Mr. Rindo? Anybody? No answer. Is this really Medio? Medio? I began to lose assurance in that fact. But it was Canis who held the doorknob as we went through the gate. Enchante's gate still had many mysteries behind it, but there were a few facts that were clear. Though it does connect to countless other worlds, the world you travel to is dependent on who opens the door. Gate 1. A mysterious door set at the back of Enchante, connected to other worlds. Basically, it connects to the location related to whoever opens it. In other words, their world of origin. The details and why it's an Enchante are unknown, currently. That being the case, so long as Canis was the one who opened it, this should definitely be his homeworld. What do I do? Could something have happened when we went through? Is it possible that this isn't Medio and I'm in a completely different world? All alone? The excitement I was just feeling was being painted over with anxiety. No, that can't be. Anyway, calm down. Take a deep breath. There are things I can still do. If I try to walk off somewhere, it's possible I'll get even more lost. Right, I'll wait here a little bit, and if no one comes, I'll walk just a bit. And checking just in case, I take out my phone. But as I'd expected, no signal. Wouldn't that be amazing? Shit, I get 5 bars here! This is amazing! I get better signals here than on Earth! I waited there for 30 minutes, but didn't see any one of them come by. The weather didn't change, and the only thing I heard was the gentle sound of birds singing in a beautiful landscape. Well, I guess we die here now. All right. I tied a handkerchief I bought to the branch of a very obvious tree near where I arrived. It's better than nothing, I guess. Someone from Enchante could pass by here, and they might notice it. Thankfully, there weren't many paths that split from here. Even if we did happen to miss each other, no one could miss this handkerchief. Next time I come to an alternate world, I should bring a whiteboard or a notebook or something, or hold someone's hand. I ponder what may or may not come in handy in an unnecessary discourse with myself. Okay, let's get going. Making my decision, I begin walking along the path in this strange, distant world. 2 minutes later, they walk by. Some time passed as I walked on. I squint intermittently toward the sunlight coming through the trees. I looked around at this unfamiliar world. I wonder how far this forest, I guess it's more of a grove, goes on for. The flower bed seemed to stretch forever. Endless greenery surrounds me. Robust leaves growing above me in every direction resemble a verdant plumage. There are plenty of places in the human world that are full of nature. But then there's that whale-like animal? It's just floating in the sky. Best of all, even as a forest, this place has a feeling so unfamiliar to my world. There was like a tangible purity about it. I'm sure I would have enjoyed the scenery a lot more with everyone else. Unfortunately, I haven't caught a hint of where anyone might be. Maybe I really was tossed somewhere that isn't Medio. I really hope not. Muttering to myself and considering that possibility. I don't know, I'm just laughing. In between the rustling of the leaves came the faint sound of laughter. Ah, cute little fairies. Wafting toward me were creatures small enough to fit in the palm of my hand. With this particular type of thing, I didn't have to wonder if they were human or not. They had pointed ears, translucent bodies, and a pair of shimmering wings on their backs. Oh, I get it! They're birds. No, I'm just kidding. Even before I stepped foot in this world, they were how I always imagined. Fairies? Yep, that's right, strange one. She looks funny, doesn't she? I wonder where she's from. If there are fairies here, then this really has to be Medio. Oh, thank God! At the very least, it seemed like I evaded the worst possible outcome of being completely lost in another world. I was so relieved to see anyone, that I collapsed and sat on the ground. Why did you hide your face so fast? Do your eyes hurt? You seem really sad, too. The fairies questioned me, landing on my shoulders and curiously poking at my cheeks. They were engrossed in their curiosity. I didn't detect a hint of caution from them. I could speak to them without reservation. Once you enter another world, you'll be able to speak its language, and the people will be able to understand you. Miser wasn't kidding. Trying to resist the tickling sensation from the hands of these girls, I managed to open my mouth and say something. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm okay. I was just so relieved. Relieved? I don't get it. Yep, I don't get it. Oh, well, I got separated from my friends who came here with me. I was trying to find them when... Friends? Do you think they're fairies that we might know? Oh, I see. Maybe these two don't understand that I'm a human, or even what a human is. Well, I came here from another world, through a gate. My, species is human, but do you know what that is? Human? Oh, yeah, I know those. From the world with rocks and metal, yeah? I've heard the Queen talk about how she wants to go visit it. The Queen? I wonder who that is. All right, then. So you're a visitor from another world. Hey, welcome to Medio. I'm sure you'll like it here. This way, lady from another world. Let's play a little bit, okay? Yeah, there's a place we play that's lots of fun. We'll make this special and take you there. But play? I'm searching for my friends, so... Come on, let's go, yeah? Wait! Their little hands pull vigorously at my fingers. What should I do about these two? They're not listening to me, really. They're like children, just talking about whatever they want. I think if I tried to shake them off me, they might get hurt, considering the size of my hand against their small bodies. All I could do was follow the fairies. As I was being pulled along... What finally came into my view was... Ooh. They're gonna pull me off the fucking falls, these bitches! I mean... Crystalline water falling from so high up, the sound was almost violent. Waterfall is an understatement. It's a giant, endless cascade of water. It's pretty, right? It feels nice, right? It's our special place. Everyone loves this place. The wind sputters the water spray everywhere. With the water spraying about without end, a large rainbow was drawn across the sky. Taken in by the marvelous, fantastical scene, I stepped forward to take a closer look. When I finally came back to my senses, that's right, I'm still lost. I need to find everyone else before I can begin to enjoy how lovely all of this is. This place really is wonderful, but I have to find everyone. I appealed to the fairies, floating gently in the air. Or, at least, I tried. All right then, lady from another world. Go ahead and fly now. Huh? I was nudged gently from behind. Without a moment to ask a question, my body was thrusted up into the air. Did they throw me over the... I told you they were going to fucking kill me. I looked down and see the bottomless basin of the waterfall rushing closer, ready to swallow me whole. These bitches pushed me off. I was pushed off. I was so concerned. I really was when they brought me. I'm like, they're going to push me off, aren't they? Yeah, because fairies are assholes. I was fully enveloped in terror before being able to understand what happened. Understand that was what happened. Oh. I was fully enveloped in terror before being able to understand that was what happened. Okay, that makes more sense. Huh? What? No! At this rate, I'll die. Spacey! Within the thick spray of mist, I was able to see that black suit of armor clearly. The figure that was unmistakably a knight reached its arms out and pulled me in. He saved us. That's so sweet. Okay, we can't... we have to possibly go to everybody else's world when we're heading in their path, because this is, like, just too adorable to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna fall in love with Miser after you rescued me from being shoved off a cliff by your fairies. I'm just saying. This is so beautiful. Kenneth? I apologize for making you wait. I'd like to apologize more formally, but we must get out of this predicament. Get out? The lake is already... This will be a bit rough. Do not let go of my arm, no matter what. As the water began to take over my entire span of vision, I latched myself to his body. Carrying my waist firmly with a single arm, he used his other free hand... I can't growl. To unsheath a giant sword and thrust it into the cliff closest to us. My body was subjected to a violent jolt, but the speed we were falling was slowing. You are safe now, and just hold your breath and leave everything to me. But now we went. He's gonna get rusty. Spacey, are you okay? I think so. I didn't hit the water too hard, thanks to your protection. Taking me by the hand, Kenneth guides me to the shore. Oh, my clothes were drenched, and I began to wring them out. I take a look around. I can't believe a shoreline like this existed around that basin. It was a beautiful sight, but I couldn't give myself a moment to take in its splendor when the giant waterfall almost killed me. Canis, are you okay? Are you hurt at all? I am quite all right. My training has fully prepared me to handle much more than that. I see. That's comforting, at least. Thank you for saving me. After giving my late thanks, Canis's flame in his neck turns into a color of discomfort. No, I must apologize for the misbehavior of my compatriots. You mustn't thank me. Compatriots? Just then. These bitches! From within the spray of the waterfall, two tiny figures come dancing toward us. The fairies who pushed me off into the waterfall had smiles on their faces like, never trust a fucking fairy. Even now, as we meet again, they seem like such children.
How was that? It felt really good, didn't it? And it was really pretty too, wasn't it? We knew you would love it.
What? I should have known that they didn't actually care about my response, despite asking me. But more than that...
But it's too bad. Candace's spot is here now. He's the really, really scary fairy. We'll have to play another time.
Making sure not to look toward Canis, they continued to pay attention only to me. He's the scary fairies because he's wearing black. I mean, legitimately, if you were in a beautiful world like this and he came up to you and then you had these pretty little fairies over here, you'd be like, I'm gonna trust the pretty fairies. And then those bitches would push you off a cliff and he'd be the one that saves you. I'm just saying, just don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a fairy by how pretty it is. Okay, the headless one will save you. The dark, scary, headless one. Yeah, probably not nice. These pretty little bitches over here are gonna shove my ass off a cliff. I'm just saying. 'Cause they did.
Okay then, miss. Let's play again sometime. And next time we can visit somewhere else. We'll bring you there ourselves.
I'd prefer if you didn't. They laughed and snickered as they flew off, disappearing shortly after. I turned to Canis, expressing my bewilderment. With his hand to his helmet, it seemed like he was about to have a headache. But he doesn't have a head. I am sorry. Those fairies do not truly hold any ill feelings toward you. They truly wanted you to enjoy yourself. Their intent was only to play. That was... play? Indeed. Fairies with such young minds cannot fathom how fragile the human body is. But more prevalent than that is their free spirit. They are only interested in what they want to do. And this happened as a result of their play. They do not think, nor do they consider the consequences of what will happen. Oh, I see. They're children. They're kids who just want to play. Considering how strong they were, having that kind of innocence is terrifying. A shiver ran down my spine as I imagined what might have happened if Canis hadn't come. I mean, seriously? I didn't think we'd see them for a while. You know what I mean? After spending a few minutes with Canis, the old group I was so desperate to find finally gathered. Oh, thank God, all my friends! I was wondering what happened when Canis simply ran off. I'm very glad you're safe. Ignis, would you turn up the flame? I'm certain her body is cold. Like, his wings are still white. They said when they change color, but his have not changed. I'm just saying. Do I look like a barbecue to you? Ugh. But I'll make an exception, I guess. Try to get your clothes dry already. Okay, thanks. I bring my body closer to the fire that Ignis made. At a safe distance, of course. I thought we meant him. Like, can you just use more flame? You just get close to him. You're like, it's kind of nice. Can I throw some of that magic powder on you? Makes your fire turn blue? like magic fire dust. My dad always had it. It was fun. I think we're on pine cones, and you would throw the pine cones in the flame, and the flames would turn blue and green and like fun colors. So you're like, can I throw that magic powder on you? And like, oh, he's purple now. He's like, the fuck. Having a boyfriend that's like a fire dog would be kind of funny in that respect. I guess this is another sort of strange power of non-humans. My soaking clothes slowly began to dry with the help of his flame. I'm seriously relieved. The moment I realized you weren't with us, my heart practically stopped. I'm sorry to make you worry, Mr. Rindo, and everyone. By the way, Did you all come out at the same place? Yes, we were all gathered together in front of the gate that I usually use. So if everyone else got through the gate normally except for me... So me being separated like that isn't something that normally happens. I heard a strange noise when I went through, and I felt as if I was being pulled away. A noise? And can you tell us more about it? Literally. From when I stepped foot into the gate until I was thrown out into the fairy world, everyone listened with serious expressions on their faces as I explained what happened. Kind of like part of our dream, you know? And that is quite odd. I have used the gate several times, but I do not recall such occurrences ever happening. Me neither. Do you think the connection to Medeo is just unstable? That cannot be. If such a danger were present, I would have discussed it with everyone well before. And the GPM was unaware of this too.
Could it be because she's human?
No, I doubt that. A bunch of our personnel who have been investigating other worlds would have reported something about that. Also, Rindo, hello? Unless he's hiding some shit. Is it because she's human and he's like, I'm human too, aren't I? We're just glossing over that. Somebody should have pointed out that maybe it definitely is not because I'm human, because he's human too. You got some secrets, buddy? Miser, do you know why this might have happened? No, I don't know anything. What I do know is that we should be careful when you travel through a gate in the future. And just like holding someone's hand across the street, and no harm being careful. I mean, I'm telling you, this is why we have a gate buddy. Right. At the end of our conversation, we were no closer to knowing what was the cause. The eerie noise, the terrifying sensation of being pulled away somewhere. I didn't want to feel that again. She's like, I don't want to feel that again, so how the fuck am I getting home? Well, whether it's you or us, it's just been disaster after disaster ever since we got here. Huh? Did something happen with you all too? Yeah. Wasn't as unlucky as your deal, though. It appears Ignis and I can't use our powers to their full potential in this world. Huh? Once he finished, I looked over Il and Ignis. It didn't seem like there was much different with Il. However... Ignis, is it me or is the flame around your body weaker? That's what I'm talking about. It's like weak. Ignis gave me a disgruntled frown as I made my observation known. Oh, man. He's like, it's just cold here, okay? Cold in his world, so. Exchanges between alternate worlds. I've seen some reports on this before. But when it comes to traveling to other worlds, non-humans visiting worlds other than theirs have been known to weaken slightly. Whoa, really? I glanced toward Miser. I'm the exception. Zero change here. I'm the demon lord whose cheating powers surpass even those world walls between the worlds. I can wreak havoc in any world I like. See, I'm just saying he's a little sus. He's got too much fucking power for his own good. And he's a cocky bastard. I fucking love him. I love him to death, but I'm just saying if anyone is sus in this game, it's him. And here I hoped you'd be the one who was weakened the most. And of course, and this being my homeworld, I can exhibit my full strength here within Medeo. Canis moves his body, producing the tough, steadfast sounds of a mighty suit of armor. And normally I would fall behind Ignis when it comes to speed. Yeah, this guy just left me in the dust. Shit, I just realized I couldn't fight like I do if someone tried to start something. I feel like you shouldn't be visiting other worlds trying to fight people. But it made sense to me. It's why Canis was the one who was able to rush over to me first. As for me, my ability to fly has been hindered slightly, but it isn't so burdensome. Yeah, because, I mean, hi, the bitch with the wings should have caught us, but again, he can't fly, so that is why, because, okay, if this is not a separate scene because we are heading down Canis's route, trying to get his, and we've made those choices, it would make more sense, just logically, if this was just generic, completely generic, that Il would be the one to save us because he's got wings. But then they kind of run, oh, his power doesn't quite work, and that's why Canis had to save you. Because you're kind of heading down his route, and this is also his world, so he should be this. You know what I mean? Like, nobody should get the glory in this world but him. But I feel like I would be a little disappointed if when we go down, say, Il's route, that when we get to this chapter and we're going to go to a world, they're like, hey, let's go to Canis's world! Wait, what? But You know what I mean? It would just make more sense to go down each person's world whose route you're kind of heading toward, that this would be different. Because otherwise it's like, well, that's sad. Unless you get to go to everyone's world in the next few chapters, I don't know, but...
I suspect it's because of the difference in the elements that make up the world and the energies that flow here.
I tilted my head in response to the odd choice of words that came from Il. Canis and Miser followed up with some more information to clarify.
I guess that might be what we in Asmodia referred to as magic powers. Someone might also refer to it as mana. You know what that is?
Magic power, the power source for demon magic. It is also known as mana and ether. Oh yeah, that's what people in games and stuff use as a source of power for spells, right?
Yes,
And demons in the demon world are constructed out of the same magic. But in Medeo's case, there's a different sort of energy at the foundation of this world, correct? Canis gives a single nod. That said, there is no proper name for it. Perhaps it is best to think that this balance of the world is a gift from nature. It's chi. We don't have anything so complicated like this in Bestia. Although I guess I've never taken the time to think about it.
And then in that case, you may not be used to environments that hold this type of energy within them, Ignis. It's as if you're being weakened by the atmosphere that's too dense for you.
We call it dent. Oh no. Yeah, maybe so. You know, I've noticed that there's been this sweet smell ever since we got here. Feels like I have heartburn or something. I see. It is worth noting that our powers do not seem to weaken as much in the human world. A special case, but quite strange. Well, we don't need to go and figure all of this out right this moment. I think we need to have a serious chat. Now that my clothes had dried, Mr. Rindo began to speak with a stern voice. Spacey, maybe this was just bad luck, but do you see how dangerous other worlds can be? Yes? Oh, but now do you see? I'm sorry. And this is Medeo, which is a world that people consider to be a generally safe one. Our common sense doesn't apply here. You wanted to learn more about alternate worlds, and I think you learned more than enough for today, so... How about we go back to Enchante, hmm? As the one who brought you into danger, I cannot argue. If you wish to go back, we will return immediately. They all seemed to wait for my word as I was seen as a victim in all that happened. No one spoke. It was silent. It's not every day you get shoved off a waterfall by fairies and saved by a handsome knight. Well, we just assume he is. It really was a terrifying experience. If Canis hadn't made it in time, I honestly believe I could have died. Knowing I could run into more fairies like those two out in our travels, just the thought, as beautiful as the scenery around me was, it was equally terrifying. Grandpa himself always stayed at Enchante. He never left to visit another world. Being the new owner of the cafe doesn't mean I need to visit my patrons' worlds. And yet... I'm sorry. I was apologizing, but it wasn't for what had happened. I want to stay a little longer. Huh? But why? Well, if I leave right now, the trip will end with me thinking that Canis' homeworld is scary, and I just don't want that. Also, the only reason I had that experience was because I was alone. If everyone else stayed with me, I'm sure my impression of this place would change. They poof out of the way. Ah, no! Rindo, you're a fellow human that can relate with her sentiments. She doesn't want to have any bad memories of the home of her friend. You can understand how she feels, right? Well...
Also, we say it was dangerous, but truly, all that happened was that she had a little fall, right?
I mean, off a giant fucking cliff! No, that's not exactly it.
Another instance of being forced apart may be unavoidable. However, I assume it would be difficult for her to encounter such danger again, as long as we're all with her.
Ill. Yeah, what the shut-in over here is trying to say is that if we stay together, who gives a damn about any danger out there? Canis, that goes for you too, right? As long as you're with her, you wouldn't let anything happen to her, right? Of course. I vow to protect you every moment I am with you, no matter what. Canis looks right at me as he speaks. Canis, thank you. I must thank you as well. I am honored that you would attempt to know my homeworld. Well, I mean, how are we going to date you if we've never gone home and seen your family, right? If you so desire, I will continue to be your guide through this world. Canis bows his head deeply in respect, with his whole body leaning forward. I really just, okay, like, I didn't think that I was gonna really enjoy, like, a headless character so much, but I really do love him. He is such a fucking cinnamon roll. You're like, he's so nice and sweet, and it's adorable. And you're like, he's like, I will protect you. But it's like, not like, I will protect you because you're a girl. It's like, I will protect you because this is a strange world. And he's slightly robot. He really is such a lovable character. Like, I don't know, I was like, okay, it's like a headless character. Like, I mean, I don't really know what to expect here, but, you know, pleasantly surprised. Putting his hand to his chest and giving his pledge, it was the perfect image of a loyal knight. Yeah. Eventually, Mr. Rindo was also persuaded to come along as well, so we would continue our journey in Medio. But we would first need to choose a meeting place in case we got separated again. We walked to Medio's gate, which I missed earlier since I was separated from the group. If our group gets split up again, I just need to come back to this spot. Knowing that makes me rest easy. Wow, there really is a gate here. It looked like a painting, seeing the gate standing in the woods. I wasn't sure, but it almost looks like the one at Enchante. Actually, it looks exactly like it.
And the one in Calum has an identical design as well.
Beastia too. I see. These gates connected us to other worlds. I understand how amazing they are now, having gone through one myself. It's still a mystery what they really were. What I do know, however, is that they're very rare, such that only one exists in every alternate world. The gates of the worlds where the regulars come through all connected to Enchante. Yet gates in other worlds connected to places other than the human worlds, or so say the reports from the GPM. Why are there several in the human world, yet only one in each alternate world? Also, why these gates in particular are fixed to only go to the human world? Investigations on this are inconclusive. The gates seem to be unknown to non-humans aside from Miser and the group, and because of this, other non-humans haven't used them. Like, why are they special? What was our grandfather doing? As I was contemplating these curious things, running through reasonings I've overheard. Now, let us proceed with this as our starting point. Oh, my back hurts so fucking much. After deeming this the meeting spot, we set off. Wow. Like, that was some fucking pretty tree. And then, like, the water kind of pouring off of the tree. Wow. Or is that supposed to be, like, glossy moss? I don't know. With Candace leading the way, we entered the forest once again. Wow, this area is so different from where I was. The spot I was in seemed much more level. Huh. I guess you were split out somewhere pretty far from here, then.
That makes sense now. I took so long to detect you, Spacey.
And please watch your step, everyone. The road becomes narrow here. Watching my steps after his warning, the eerie sound of wind getting sucked into the valley below batted at my ears. Oh, be careful! Well, if you do fall, I swear I'll save you at least one out of the 3 times that you do. I hope you'll save me the other 2 times too, please. I'm sure if I fall even once, I'll be headed straight into the afterlife, though. I already fell once, so... Oh, but Rindo, my services will cost you. Well, that's a bit rude, isn't it? I took a moment during our playful chatter to look at the scenery above me. Flower petals were dancing in the wind, seemingly full of life, grazing the branches. Wow, if it wasn't so dangerous, Medio would be such a serene and gorgeous place. Yeah, just don't play with fairies. As I was lost in thought, Kenneth stops. It seems like appropriate timing. Keep watching. You may see something interesting. Interesting? Something odd began to happen around me. What is happening? I can't see anything. The seasons were changing instantly. Oh, neat! I was speechless as the trees around me began changing colors, one after the other. Oh, pretty cool.
The leaves all suddenly changed color. How does that work?
The flow of time differs between Medio and the human world. Let's consider the 4 seasons. In Medio, flowers bud in the morning. Their leaves are verdant by noon. Their colors show at dusk, and the land is winter by night. Fascinating. It's like an entire year in the human world happening in just one day here.
In that case, since it appears the summer is ending, That should mean it's close to noon now.
Oh, wow. The fairies were evidence enough that this place was completely abnormal, but time flows here in a way that makes an entire year pass by in the matter of a day. Fairies lived among the twisting branches and the trunk at the center. Well, that's why he's been like 100 years old. He's really... So that means you're only like 100 days old? That's weird. This feeling of wonder keeps sinking in as I walk. The fact that this world is one that doesn't follow the conventions of my own. It's not actually like, ooh, saying, I'm glad you're enjoying Medio. I'm honestly quite surprised you would bring guests here, Canis Espada. I have no idea who it is. I hear the sounds of leaves being crushed. Standing there was a figure with androgynous features who didn't seem to belong to either gender. Ooh. However, their beauty was... I love them. Completely ruined by the expression shown. I don't care, that bitch face. They seemed ready to express how disgusted they were feeling. Oh! Okay, there is something about the hair that is very Finnish, minus the buns, but I'm just saying. Oh my god. What kind of voice do they have? Huh. But like so beautiful. I want a route. Anyway. Welcome, guests from an unknown world. Oh, I am Chancellor Venia. I serve under the Fairy Queen. And I welcome you all here. Hey, this punk just sneered at us. Oh, those gorgeous, delicate hands. Did you see them? Wow.
We're being welcomed, it seemed. I believe this person expresses a friendly sentiment toward us.
No, there's no way that's true. I don't think I've ever received a more unpleasant welcome in my life.
Oh, that's not true. I welcome you. I really do.
On the surface.
Even if you all seem like a crass, annoying bunch I'll have to deal with. I truly and honestly do welcome you happily, under orders of Her Majesty the Queen.
Oh, what a lie. This one has a sense of humor. It was an impressive scene. Everyone looked like they were at a loss of what to do. Venia is gorgeous. Like, beautiful. I love them. It's just like, it was Canis who finally spoke out to them. Venia, what do you mean by orders of the Queen? Venia, 1. A fairy of Medio with an androgynous appearance. The Chancellor serving the Fairy Queen. Although polite, Venia has quite a sharp tongue. I love them. It's just as I say. Her Majesty the Queen has gone completely insane, insisting she wanted to meet the ones from another world, hence why I'm here. They're from the same world, and I was sure they knew one another. Venia's shoulders droop as Canis asks his questions. Her Majesty the Queen? That's right. Those fairies from the waterfall also mentioned something about the Queen. Oh, so would you say that Medio is under the rule of a monarchy? Right, the one known as the Fairy Queen rules over all other fairies here in Medio. Huh, so we're being invited directly to see this queen then. And that's what I've been telling you. Is there some issue with your brain's ability to understand language? What was that for? This person doesn't seem so nice inside. Yeah, they speak with elegance, but what they actually say is horrible. But, like, beautiful. And this being the case, I request you follow me, if you must feel inclined to. Everyone turns their gaze toward me. I know they want me to make a decision, but what should I do? We follow Venia. That's what the guide says. I could hear the ghost of my old boss yelling in my ear. Never turn down an invite from a higher-up! All right. She's going out of her way to invite us, so I'll happily accept the invitation. Indeed. I am certain the Queen will be delighted, and I thank you for accepting. Oh, look! He's glowing green! He's so happy! The being who rules the fairy world Medio. That'll be amazing to have an audience with someone with such a high ranking. Sorry, my response seems so selfish, but this is all thanks to you, Spacey, and your decision to stay here. I feel like if we don't follow Venia, we're gonna die. I mean, this guide is like, follow him, so.
And not only because of your role as the owner of Enchante, but as an individual as well. I hope this will be meaningful for you.
I hope we don't die, or something. Yeah, I mean, I would assume, because I don't know. I would assume there's bad endings in each individual route, but there doesn't seem anything to be like bad endings for the common route that I've seen, so.
Oh, my apologies. But thank you so much for not understanding what I was trying to say. You should have just declined. But oh well. Let's go. Come with me, everyone.
We should have just declined! Oh, fuck! Venia didn't want us to be summoned, but had no choice as it was an order. Venia, while expressing their attitude in every way except the words they spoke, begins to walk away. Venia showed us the way, but I could really tell that they detested doing it. In any case, following Venia's lead, we proceed further into the woods. And I think it's actually kind of interesting because it's like Venia is totally like androgynous, and they keep going with they, and they don't like. So you're like, look, my like inner assumption is like absolutely gorgeous, beautiful man, but that's just because that's kind of what I want Venia to be. Because there's like some part of me that's like, can we get like a fan disc with a route for this bitch? Because like they fabulous. But then if it's like, oh, Venia's actually a woman, I'd be like, oh, that's not as fun for me because I'm just not into the lesbian thing. I mean, I'd still play the route, don't get me wrong, but like, it doesn't appeal to me as much, you know? Like, there could be a game where you're like, an MC told me heroin, and they have games like that where you're like, okay, and then you've got, here's this boyfriend, and then this is a girlfriend that you could have. Sure, I'll play those games, and we play the girl route, and it might be enjoyable, but it's not my first choice. You know what I mean? It's not like, yes! I want the lady love route. I absolutely play all the gay games, though, because, like, I will totally 100% be a fabulous man and be dating gorgeous men. I'm totally okay with that, but, like, just because I'm a gay man on the inside, okay? Like, just deep down inside of my bones. Like, that's just, sorry. It's just who I am in my soul, okay? Just happen to be in a woman body. I don't know. Anyway. But it's like, oh, girls. I don't want to date girls. Anyway. The temperature dropped suddenly. Medea was tinted in a crimson sunset hue. As the sun continued to set, we traversed steep slopes and crawled over wooden walls. Barely getting by after the others continued to help me. Ooh, it's pretty here. Let's see what time we're... Okay, I just want to make sure that... Venia finally stops.
All right, we're here.
God, finally!
And judging from how far we've walked, we must be at a considerable altitude. Medea's architecture is quite unique, yes?
It felt more like hiking up a mountain than a little walk. I really hope that my muscles aren't too sore tomorrow. Seriously, that was quite a distance to make us walk.
Spacey, how are you doing?
Carry me, I love you. Can I have the piggyback ride now? Okay, I think. Though, my legs feel like sticks right now. Taking Miser's hand to support myself, I took a second to manage my breathing. I'm not sure if I should say this, but I think Venia was just waiting for us to give up. They really didn't want to bring us here.
How rude! Should be obvious, but here in Medea there are many places inaccessible to those who aren't fairies. In fact, I guided you in a way that would be best for you. You should be thanking me. Now that I finally caught my breath, I look around where we were. There, I couldn't quite tell what this place was we were in, inside the fairy world. The space we entered seemed like there was just a large hole gouged out especially for it. It was a strange place with large flowers blinking with light strewn about. The scenery outside should look like fall, but if I remember correctly, but the space alone looked like spring. As I was looking around, Spacey, let me introduce you to the Queen. This way. With Canis pulling my hand, we proceed to the center of the open space. And there... Ah, so you are the visitors. In a gentle, wafting breeze made with this girl's smile, it felt like the air surrounding us became infinitely sweet.
was like a throne of flowers. Fairy Queen Titania. Titania? Yeah.
This is Enchante's owner, the granddaughter of Soanawaki.
In these gorgeous surroundings was enthroned a small queen, much smaller than what I had imagined. Her little fangs! Like, she's adorable, but her little fangs look so dangerous. I'm glad you made it. My name is Titania. I am the queen of the fairy world Medio. Titania, the fairy queen who rules fairy world Medio. She has the form of a cute young girl, but her speech and atmosphere are both dignified and graceful. Of course. I am happy to be able to meet you, owner of Enchante. This little girl laughs cutely in a snicker. She looked as young as a child in grade school.
Introduce yourselves.
It's nice to meet you. Candace always takes good care of me at Enchante. I'm Spacey Owaki. I had no idea how to greet her properly. Not only were we in an alternate world, but I was in front of royalty, too. I pitched forward as far as I could, bowing deeply for an eternity. Curtsy. Zoe's taking care of you. Quite an interesting fact. Don't you think, Canis?
No, I do not believe so at all.
Oh my, you're being quite cold, Canis. Is it because we have guests? Well, you have guests. I raise my head and assume that Canis is being teased in this conversation. He doesn't seem pleased about that. You all back there. I've heard of you as well. Everyone seems so very unique.
A little too unique, I believe. A demon lord and a fallen angel. A demon beast and an old man. Quite an odd group. God, I love this bitch so fucking much. Wait a second. Old is a bit much, don't you think?
I love fucking Rindo. He speaks to my soul. He's like, old! Oh! I just died a little. It's because you're old. I know. I feel you. Whoops. Mr. Rindo's comment was ignored by Venia. As Miser stood next to me, he asked Titania a question.
So, the Queen seems to know a lot about us. Why did you call us here? And the kid with the superficial politeness hasn't exactly given us much to go off of.
Superficial courtesy. When words and attitudes are overly polite, it can be impolite or even rude. Also, one can act polite on the surface, but actually be looking down upon or disliking the other. In Venia's case, it is certainly the latter. Miser, she's the queen. You should speak more politely to her.
Really? That's what you're worried about? You know, don't forget, but I'm also technically a king, okay?
Watching me in my panic scolding Miser, the Queen Titania snickers in a laugh that sounded like a ringing bell. Oh my! I don't mind if you speak to me naturally. My authority doesn't extend to you all. Now then, allow me to answer your question. The reason why I asked you to come here is solely to talk.
To talk? With us?
Precisely! The ones that Canis Espada calls friends who have come to this world. Of course I would want to at least have a chance to greet them. Titania quickly glances at Canis. However, Canis just continues to watch over us, not responding in any way. Awkward.
Well, regardless, considering Medio rarely ever gets visitors, it's only obvious we show you some hospitality. Tales from other worlds are fantastic entertainment for curious fairies. Seriously? I'm not sure your attitude is exactly screaming hospitality at us, you know. Oh, I know it's difficult, but don't be an idiot. I've been as earnest as possible concerning my hospitality towards you all.
That's earnest. I'm not sure I'm sold. I like how they're all being such bitches back. Well, that's where we're at. If time should allow it, I do hope you'll all tell me more about yourselves. Is it just me, or do I just, I'm not sure if I 100% trust her. Like, I trust Venia because Venia is absolutely, fucking queen bitch. And you're like, I trust that you're an asshole. I trust that you hate us. And she's like, oh, I'm so cute and adorable. I'm not sure if I trust you. But, I swear to God, she looks like a doll that like rolled out of the 80s or like early 90s. Like a toy, like that you bought. Like there's something about her that's just like, there were so many different types, and she's just like hitting all of them. Like, there were these like peppermint rose dolls, I remember. And they all had like there was peppermint and rose, and there was some other like scent with like they had the, you know, whatever, non-floral and then mixed with a floral scent. Like, and they were like, but then there was also like these other little fairy dolls, and they were like freaking, she's like, oh God, I cannot think of them. But like, they had like long hair, and they had like, each had like little clips that went in their hair, and it was like her clips looked like a squirrel, and then like they had the curly, Lady Lovely Locks, that's what it was. Oh my God. That's what she kind of reminds me of. She's just hitting all these fucking, like, this 80s fucking shit, where everything was, like, these bright, but kind of pastel colors, and it was just, like, there's just so much shit going on with, like, the flowers and the butterflies and, like, all the crap, and, like, she's sitting in a It's, like, so intense, and it's just, like, fucking, like, 80s, 90s toy vibe to me right now. She's, like, hitting all of those, and I'm just, like, having weird flashbacks. Anyway. But I'm not sure I trust her. I don't know if we should, anyway. I see. We don't have any real reason to decline, so if she's good with it, it's fine by me. I feel like we wouldn't get attacked here, but you never know. I look toward everyone before speaking. Everyone either shrugs or looks away, uninterested, leaving it up to me. Glancing around at everyone, I open my mouth. All right. From Titiana, how do I put it? Titania. I don't know why I just said her name wrong. Whatever. Although her appearance was youthful, there was a sweetness she exuded. I didn't feel the tiniest bit of ill will towards us. I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm just wary. Most of all, she was kind. She was just simply kind. I feel like Candace would warn us and be like, no, she's evil, but even in this unpredictable world, I've been able to hold a nice conversation with her. I felt she was simply just a good person who I'd like to get to know better. We can answer what we're able to, although it might not be much. Oh, really? Wait just one moment, please. We will prepare a banquet then. She must really want to talk with us. With a smile on her face, she nods, and everything around us begins to shake. This part's going to go over too. What's going on? As if responding to Titania, several small branches grew out from the walls and floors. The innumerable branches twisted together, changing their shape into a cage. Just kidding. The area around the center of the room became adorned with new furniture, with a huge long table and several chairs appearing around us. Neat. Wow! Amazing! What a very interesting power. Seems quite different from what Miser and I can do. I would believe so. Titania is borrowing power from the tree. So, does that mean that she can manipulate plants at will? Candace nods in affirmation. Now then, my guests, please sit wherever you'd like. Please partake of your drinks as we talk and discuss your wonderful tales. Oh, I'm so excited. Never drink anything the fairies give you. We're going to be trapped here forever. Look, if I learned anything from fucking, like, fairy tales, it was like, don't step in the fucking fairy ring. Fairies are going to push you off a cliff. We know that. And, like, don't drink shit they give you. You're going to die. You're going to be trapped here forever. With her offering, we moved to the seats closest to us. However... Alright, so how are we supposed to partake in drinks when these cups are empty? A disgruntled Ignis picks up a wooden cup that was placed on the table. But he really did check that it was empty when he picked it up. He flipped it over. So what is this? You want us to drink the air around us? Of course not. Fairies don't eat or drink usually, but serving tea to guests is in our culture. As Titania spoke in a faint smile. It's the lady from before! We're sorry about earlier. The queen yelled at us a lot for that. Huh? Oh, it's you two! My body suddenly froze. Fuck, we're gonna die! See, don't trust them. But watching them bow so sincerely, I felt like I needed to forgive them. Maybe this is just a human sentiment. I'm sorry too, for not explaining to you what humans are. If we get a chance again, I hope we can do something safe after we're all done talking here, of course. Okay. What should we do next time? I've got a bad feeling. Did they really get what I was trying to say? We should have just said, oh no, it's fine. Please don't ever talk to me again. Along with arcs of light, many other fairies came into the room. They take several of the flowers blooming around us in hand and fly toward me. Here you go. They're sweet and really good. They began to tilt their flowers over, and they began to fill our cups with nectar. Now then, although we can't provide much, we welcome you, guests from another world. Please relax and enjoy this banquet, a courtesy of the fairy world Medio. Okay, this is the perfect place to stop. All right, so we'll have our fairy banquet and probably die. I'm just kidding. I'm sure we'll be fine. But look, I'm a little hesitant now. You shoved me off a cliff. I don't know if I can trust anyone here except for Kenneth. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.